Okay, so I'm going to talk about expanding and combining logarithmic expressions using the following properties. So these are sort of addition to the existing properties. So I will just say property one. Okay, so first, when you're expanding or combining, so log any base A, if I have the product of two things, x times y, then I can expand this. So if I go this direction, I'm expanding it. So expand it as the sum of two logarithms using the same base. So log of the first expression plus the log of the second one using the same base. So let me just give you an example. So let's say we have a log base 2 squared y cubed, and I want to expand this. So now I see a product of two things here. So using this property, I'm going to expand this as the sum of two logs, log of the first expression plus log of the second expression. And then we have another property that says that, okay, if you have a power here, if your input is an exponent, so you just move the exponent of that input right in front of the logarithm. So you can just do 2 times log plus 3 times log base 2. These are base 2 y. So you do this until the input has no longer any power. So then that's it. We'll leave it like this. So this is called an expansion. Okay, let me give you the second property. So the second one is a log any base, and this time you have a fraction, so you have a quotient x over y, and this can be expanded, and you write two logs, log of the top number. Now this time you'll have minus log of the bottom. Okay, so let me give you an example. So log base a, let's say we have square root of x divided by y to the fourth power. So since this is a fraction, I'm going to use this property. So it's going to be difference of two logs using the same base. So log a, you will have, okay, I can just change this a to any number I want. So let me just change that to, let's say 5. This is root x minus log base 5 y to the fourth. So the next step is removing the exponents of the input right in front of log. But this is a square root of x. So square root of x is actually x to 1/2. So I can rewrite that. So I can put here log 5. I can put here x to 1/2. So I write it as a power function minus log y to the fourth power. Okay, now I will have to move each power right in front of the log. And then we'll have 1/2 times log 5 minus log base 5 y. So we have no longer exponents of the input. So then this will be the last step. So this will be expanded as this. Okay, now you can combine it. So the reverse process will be combining it. So for combining, let me just give you an example for combining. Let's say you have the sum of two logs. Let's say you have x and plus log of. Let's say we have a coefficient here 5. This is y. Now for combining, step 1 is moving each coefficient as a power of the input. So this is 1, so there is nothing to move. But this is 5, so this 5 needs to be moved here. That's the first step. So then you have log 3x plus log 3y to the 5th power. So when you see that there is no coefficient of each log, then now you can combine it using the first property because you have a plus here. So when you have plus, this will turn into a single log, and you multiply each input. So x times y to the 5. Okay. So let's look at another example. So now let's say I have 1/2 log base 7 minus 3 times log y. Okay, so I'm going to combine these two. So combining means you're reducing this to a single logarithm. So first I'm going to move the coefficient. So each coefficient needs to be moved. So that's 1/2. We'll move this right here. This is 3. I will move this right here. So then this will be log base 7 x to 1/2 minus log base 7 y to the 3. Now x to 1/2, I can rewrite this as square root of x minus log base 7 y cubed. So we have no longer the coefficient, everything is moved. So now I have a single logarithm. So I have single logarithm, and then using the property 2, I just divide the input. So first input divided by the second input. This will be combined, and we write it as a single logarithm. So no matter how complicated it is, so let me just make a more complicated example. So let's say we're expanding this one. Log, let's say base 8, and here I have cube root of x squared over x squared, sorry, not x squared, let's use a different variable. So y cubed times z to the 4th power. So first it's a fraction. So since it's a fraction, I'm just going to write it as a difference of 2 logs. Like that. Y cubed z to the 4th power. Okay, now here I will rewrite it because I need to write it as a power function. So this will be x to 2/3 minus. Okay, now what will I do here is now I see a multiplication here. So once I see multiplication, I'm going to write this as the sum using the first property when I expand it. So this is base 8 y cubed plus log e to the 4. Now I can distribute this minus. So this will be log base 8 to 2/3 minus log base 8 y cubed minus log base 8 z to the 4. Now there's only one thing left to do, is moving each power right in front of log. If you have any, just move all of them. So 2/3 times log x minus 3 times log, this is base 8 y, and then minus 4 times log base 8 z. And that will be the full expanded form. So I took this, I started with this, and I expanded fully as follows using the 2 property, combined 2 property. And you can do this with the combining too. So let me give you one last example with the combining. So combine, sometimes people use the word condense. It's really the same thing. So combine. So here's an example. So let's say we're going to combine or condense this guy right here. So log 4 minus, let's say 5/3 log y, and plus, this is base 4. So they must have base 4. So 2 times log base 4 z. So all the bases should be the same in order to use these 2 properties. I'm going to start, if I have multiple ones, so if I have more than 2, then I'm always going to do the first 2 first. So I'm going to do this first. And I look at here, that is subtraction sign. So then I'm going to divide it using the second property. So But before we divide it, I need to make sure that each log is coefficient free, right? So I'm going to move this first. So log base 4x minus log y to the 5/3. Okay. And plus the other one is the same. Oh, we have to move that too. So first I have to make sure each log is coefficient free. So this guy will be moved too. So z to the 4. Now I can divide. So the next step I will do is divide because I'm looking at the first two. So log 4, this will be just x over y to 5/3. And then the next one comes in. Next one has a plus, so there's a plus sign between these two. So then I will multiply. So log 4 x divided by y 5/3. And you see how I started? I started with 3 logs, and then I eventually just combine it and reduce it to a single logarithm.